What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Lev Game Season 1, Episode 13, The Average Man's Perspective on Football. I am your co-host, Marcus. Joining me tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
Mark.
Good evening.
And Brian.
Welcome back.
Before we get started, I just want to encourage everyone to go over to sportsintel.net to get the latest and greatest commentary on all things related to sports. That's sportsintel.net. Also want to encourage you to check us out on Twitter at the Lev Game. Also, to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell icon so you get notified whenever we go live. I want to encourage everyone to share the video, show your friends, show any of your football enthusiasts. So we can get those likes up and get those subscribers in there. So let's start, Mark. What's going on?
Hey, what's happening? We had another exciting week of football last week. We're going to get into some of the games last week, what our predictions were. Talk about the upcoming games and predictions of what we have on that, and then a couple of hot topics. First, we'll start off with the review last week. A couple of games. The first game, the 49ers and the Oakland Raiders, LA Raiders, and Las Vegas Raiders, or whoever you want to call them, but they definitely got an NFL team for right now. Sure.
They might be the University of Oakland Raiders at this point.
Something like that. That's the first game we're gonna talk about. Marcus, I'll let you take it from there. Who did you have in that game?
I picked San Francisco.
No.
No, I did. I did pick.
No. Can we go back and rewind that tape?
You tried to change your pick.
But I couldn't. Once you say it, you can't change it. So I picked San Francisco. So that goes down to San Francisco. Now I didn't know it was gonna be the slaughter like that. Especially you got a no-name quarterback coming out of nowhere. What was this guy's name? Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
He was 16 of 22, 262 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Didn't he have a perfect quarterback rating in that game?
If he did, it was pretty close.
Yeah, it was pretty close. It was damn sure pretty close. Which leads me to believe that Kyle Shanahan is a true quarterback whisperer, not John Gruden.
It was the Raiders, dude.
But still, I mean, come on. Every quarter, he was the OC in Atlanta when Matt Ryan was the MVP, went to the Super Bowl. RG3's first year, he was the OC. This guy I think he's a quarterback whisperer. You know. I know it was Oakland, but come on, Nick Mullins. Nobody even heard of that guy before.
Right, because during that game they had went to the sidelines and Gruden was like laying out his defensive coordinator, like, what the is going on? You letting this rookie burn us up like this?
Hey, John Gruden, how about your offense score some points? Okay, how about that?
That would be nice too.
Yeah. Defense can play better if the offense is in the game.
I wasn't lucky in this one. I chose the Raiders for someone. I don't think there's so much that they knew that what they had in Mullins. I think that Oakland was just that pitiful. You had offensive linemen they had in there, was pulling them out, put them back in. I mean, Oakland was. I mean, they was pathetic, man. I don't think it was more so, not necessarily the coaching of Mullins. I think it was just that Oakland was just that terrible, that bad.
Yeah, I think they gave up. I think they gave up in that game.
Yeah, they did. Brian, who you have?
Unfortunately, I went with the Raiders. I bought the hype. I was the one that brought up the fact that they were starting their third-string quarterback, and
San
Francisco was starting their third-string quarterback, and that probably was a kiss of death for me. Every time I mention it or I try to dog somebody, they seem to light it up and have their best game of their career. So hats off to you, Mr. Mullins. You deserve that victory. And I start off this one with an 0-1 record.
Yeah, I had the 49ers too, just because Oakland is so bad. And just the fact that I have 2 of the San Francisco players on my fantasy team, and I knew the type of numbers they've been putting up. So that's why I went with the 49ers. But yeah, man, I mean, the Raiders, they haven't just given up on the game. They're done for the season.
You think
players,
they're cashing in for the season?
Oh, yeah, those
They
players
have
are
to.
mailing
They
in.
have to. I mean, that was a debacle of epic proportions. And that wasn't just bad coaching. That was players quit.
Yeah.
Well, they were quitting because the coaching is terrible. There was an article I read this week saying that John Gruden, he convinced the world that he's actually a great football coach. And I said this when they signed. I was like, there's no way they should have signed up for that. He hasn't done anything to really impress me at all. Yeah, he won 1 Super Bowl, but that was Tony Dungy's team.
Yeah, but his team was on the other side of the field.
Yeah, and they lost.
Yeah, but maybe that was because he wasn't coaching them.
Well, also I've heard someone mention that was Al Davis is the one that put that team together, not really John Gruden. So,
Yeah, Al Davis might put the team, but John Gruden coached the players.
oh come on.
His
But
offense.
I think
John-
Look at his record. His record does not dictate a 10-year guaranteed $100 million
I
contract.
don't disagree with
Nobody
you on
record
that, but
does
you
that.
can't take away that he wasn't a good coach at one point in time.
I agree with Marcus though. I feel like he won the Super Bowl with Tony Dungy's team. I mean, it was Dungy. I mean, and once Gruden was there for a little while, they
Fell
won-
apart.
Yeah, exactly.
It made it easier from the Super Bowl because Raiders, where Gruden came from the Raiders, they didn't change too much of the game plan. They didn't change
He
anything.
knew everything.
So
They-
Gruden just coached them up on how to play them
But in
against
his
those
defense, if it wasn't for the Tuck rule, he was going to the Super Bowl the year before.
but it's
True.
true.
His team was going through the Super
That's
Bowl.
true.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
That's
Shoulda,
why.
woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
You can't take away. Gruden was a good coach. I'm not saying he was good.
He was a good
He's
coach
worth that
back
contract,
then.
but Gruden was a good coach.
He was never as good as that contract dictates.
Not this contract, no.
No.
But when he was there, they should have never fired. They should have never got rid of him with the Raiders.
But and I don't want to keep talking about them, but when you how would you rank Gruden at the time that there were of his era of coaches? Think about some of the other coaches that were there during his time.
He was in the top five at that
He was an
particular
up and
time.
coming young coach.
He was.
He was talented.
He was talented.
But again,
And y'all say that was Tony Dungy's team, but obviously he did something Tony Dungy couldn't do.
But
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Tony Dungy went to Indianapolis and did. So,
Yeah, with Peyton Manning. All right, let's move.
So this
Let's move.
debate will continue. We're moving on. The next game we had was the Green Bay Packers against the New England Patriots. Brian, who'd you have in that one?
Thank you, Mark, for letting me start off with this one because I actually picked the game correctly. The Patriots won, and they won in convincing fashion. Aaron Rodgers is great, but I don't know what happened to them in the second half. I mean, the first half, they were both slinging and going back and forth, and it looked like it was going to be an epic battle. By the end of the third quarter, I decided it was time to go to bed. Oh, I'm finished.
Irvin.
Yeah, I had the Patriots too. It's like Brian said. I think the score didn't reflect how close the game was at first. Green Bay got the ball at a crucial time and fumbled. So, but yeah, you had two great quarterbacks. Brady was 22 for 35, 294 yards and a TD. Rodgers was 24 for 43, 259 yards and 2 TDs. But it was the turnover that really did Green Bay in. They're not clicking quite like they used to, and there's probably a little bit more going on between McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers than we know. So, Marcus,
you got.
Well, because I picked the Patriots. That was actually a close game. Going into the fourth quarter, it was tied.
Yeah.
The Packers had kept New England from scoring in the third quarter, but they blew up in the fourth, scoring 14 points, and they kept Green Bay scoreless. And just it went pretty much like I expected. Well, I would have expected that shellacking in the end. But I feel like Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. I just don't think he's on a great team right now. I don't think they've done enough.
They've never done enough.
They haven't done enough to surround him with quality players, and I think Mike McCarthy might be in trouble.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
They always think that they basically feel like he can bail them out of whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it's starting to show that he can't.
Yeah.
They need to go out there. They need to go out there and get. They need to get Le'Veon Bell.
The lack of the running game is
But their running game is actually better this year than it was in previous years.
It still doesn't scare anybody.
It doesn't scare anybody, but it is a little better.
It makes Aaron Rodgers play action a lot more effective when he do have a running game. And to me, I don't think they're that scaring too many people with the running back they got. In this particular game, real quick, Marcus, I did take the Patriots. I thought it was close. You look at the numbers; they were pretty close, even as far as the time possessions and
because it was a close game.
But
Until the fourth quarter.
that fumble got them seriously in trouble. After that, they never really recouped. After that,
They did.
go ahead, Marcus. Would you go say, Marcus? Go ahead.
So I've even heard some say this week that Aaron Rodgers should request a trade out of Green Bay.
Wow.
He should try to get out of Green Bay.
I don't think that's going to happen with that contract he just signed.
No.
Yeah, I definitely think McCarthy will be fired before
don't know.
Aaron Rodgers leaves.
But I feel like that free agency and I don't know how much they can do in the draft, but they have got to put some more playmakers around him. And for real, they need to aggressively go after Le'Veon Bell.
See, I feel it should be on the defensive side. That defense wasn't scaring anybody. And that defense has been a sieve for a little while now. I mean, Brady just torched them that whole game. If Aaron had an average defense, or better than average defense, I think the offense scores. The offense puts up the points that they need normally. I mean, this game was a little bit of an aberration, but for the most part, they score and they get down the field when they need. Whenever, like you said, 2 minutes, who do you want as your quarterback to get you down the field?
Yeah.
So they can do it when they need to. It's just their defense can't stop nobody.
They drafted a couple of young guys in secondary for the defense. So I think they did address the draft this year with a lot of defensive players. It's just that Aaron Rodgers needs more help. He needs more help to do some things. All right, next game we got on tap, the Los Angeles Rams and the New Orleans Saints. That was a barn burner. I'm going to start off with this one. It was back and forth. I thought whoever had the ball last was going to be the one to score and win the game. They were. I mean, it was exciting game. It was fun. The Rams, they missed out on a couple of opportunities and chances. On that fourth down play that they punter tried to do something with. I think you got to put points on the board. You can't. I mean, you can't. You keep trying these trick plays. After a while, ain't nobody gonna fall banana in the tailpipe. But they left a couple of points on the board, and I think that's what got them kind of a little in trouble. But Breeze, what can I say? He's the bomb. Herman,
Yeah, I had the Saints. I had the Saints on this one too. It was just that time for the Rams. It was coming. You knew it was coming. Nobody's going undefeated again in the NFL, not for a while. I don't think. And if that was the team that was going to beat the Rams, it was the Saints. And I think you might have seen a preview of the NFC Championship.
I think so too. I agree with you on that one.
You had Breeze. He was 25-36, 346 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Goff was right there, 28 for 40, 391 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I said it last week. Goff is having this quiet season. Nobody's talking about Jared Goff. Just talking about the Rams in general.
Yeah, they don't even. He's not even in the MVP mentions at all.
But that dude is balling.
Did he throw an interception in that game?
Yeah,
he hit the one.
Brian, who do you have?
I was on the bandwagon. I rode them Rams. I mean, you got to give Saints and Sean Payton credit. I mean, they came out with a dynamite game plan. I mean, I felt that it was going to – I knew the offenses were going to do what they had to do, but I thought when all came to a head that the Rams defense would do more than the Saints defense. But I was wrong on this one. The Saints did their thing. Congratulations.
Marcus?
I picked the Saints. Like I said, it was a great game. And I just felt like, like as Herman said, the Rams were going to lose eventually. And if somebody could do it, it was definitely Breeze and the Saints. And they did it. That game, I think the second quarter was the turning point in that game. The New Orleans scored 21 points that quarter. And just the Rams were able to catch up. And it made the Rams look a little bit mortal. They were looking like gods up until this past week. And now they look a little bit mortal. And now I actually think that the Saints are actually favored to be to go to Super Bowl now over the Rams, which the case could be made. I can definitely see the case. I definitely want to see them in the conference championship and see it again, and that'll be a great game.
Yeah, if the Saints were to get home field throughout the playoffs, it's a wrap. It's hard to go in New Orleans and beat them that crowd like that.
I wouldn't have believed that, but after last week, I think I have to agree with you on that one. It's tough to go down in New Orleans and beat them, and with that crowd in that stadium. Next game, one of my favorites, Pittsburgh against the Baltimore Ravens. Good game. The Steelers, what can I say? We've been building up the momentum. James Conner is Le'Veon who? They did a great job, man. I think they're building it up.
Don't you have his jersey?
No, I do not have a Le'Veon jersey. Anyway, Steelers is who I chose. That's who we got. Marcus, who did you have in this one?
I chose the Steelers, and of course it worked out for me. It was just it was a good game. I just felt like the Ravens, They just couldn't pull it out in the end, and just Steelers are a better team. It started out real slow for the Steelers, and it seems like now that they're catching their stride, and my prediction of them winning the AFC North is going to be right. The Baltimore was looking real hot there for a minute, but now I think they've lost a couple in a row. What, 2 or 3 or
3 in a
They
row.
lost 3 in a row.
3 in a row. So they were on fire. Now they've slowed down a little bit. So look, Steelers are the team to beat now.
Herman.
Yeah, I had the Steelers also. I mean, you just got two teams going in different directions right now. The Steelers are on the way up, and Baltimore's struggling, and they're on the way down. And you're starting to hear a little bit of rumblings about if their head coach is on the hot seat. So
Quarterback too.
Oh yeah. I already knew that this was Flacco's
He
last
started
year
out the
anyway.
season on a hot seat. So
Yeah, you could see the writing on the wall when they pulled RG3 to back up. I mean, and kept him on the team as the third quarterback. That's a setup for next year because he's going to back up Lamar Jackson. Flacco he'll be gone. They'll trade him to probably the Bucks or something like that.
Arizona.
Yeah.
So you think him and Harbaugh are gone?
No, I think Flacco is going to be gone. I think they're going to give Harbaugh maybe another chance, but I feel like Flacco is going to be gone.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later on about the possibility of Harbaugh leaving that Baltimore team. Brian, who did you have in this one?
So I lone wolfed this one and rode the Ravens, thinking that for some reason they weren't as bad as they are, but Steelers won. They did a good job. What's really bothering me with the Ravens is their offense. Just for some reason, all of a sudden they just can't run the ball. The only time they can run the ball is when they bring Lamar Jackson in and he's running this little wildcat crap. And now defenses are even tallying in on that. That's not working. The one big play they could have had to Lamar Jackson where he's standing in the end zone by
Wide
himself.
open.
And Joe doesn't even look that
I
way.
think they had to settle for a field goal in that drive, too.
They said that they think he did that on
Purpose.
Yeah, you gotta put your team above your own personal interests and how you feel about the situation. But like they were saying, everybody was saying, that the Baltimore radio stations are blowing Flacco up. They were also blowing up the coach. They were trying to choose who they would pick. Everybody was picking the coach, and like Herman said, he probably will get another year. But Flacco already knew the writing was on the wall. So, congrats to the Steelers.
Last game of the week, Dallas Cowboys, Tennessee Titans.
I don't know what you're giggling about.
I'm just giggling.
This game, I don't know if it was it's going to be the demise of the Dallas season, or I don't know what. It's crazy. I'll hand this over to Brian. You tell me what you think. And I chose Dallas in this game too.
I think we all did.
Am I allowed to abstain? Am I allowed to not talk about this? Because
No.
I don't want to be one of those Cowboy fans that I see on YouTube and all that stuff, ranting and raving and going like a crazy person and breaking TVs and stuff. But it is extremely frustrating to watch that offense not operate like it should. It is extremely frustrating that a defense would allow 11 of 13 third down conversions, long third down conversions, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 8, first down, touchdown. And it would be different if that was Tom Brady on the other side of that game. But that was, I forgot the guy's name.
Mariota.
Marcus Mariota, who is a good quarterback. He's good. But he's not that type of quarterback the way he should be lighting up that defense. That was number 3 going into that game. And they just let him walk up and down the field and score whenever they wanted. Can't kick field goals. I mean, it's just a debacle. It was nice to see, our new little weapon come out there and do his thing, get his touchdown. But, Dak forcing the ball to him down the field in the end zone after a big turnover just changed the whole momentum of that game. I wanted to go to bed early because I had to get up early and I knew we weren't going to win, but I stayed and they let me down like they did again.
Good, Marcus.
I picked the Cowboys. I don't know why I keep picking the Cowboys, and I think I picked them to win the NFC East. It's obviously, like I said, I keep saying their wins go through Zeke, and he only had, I believe he had 61 yards rushing and 17 carries. They're not going to win like that. He needs to have at least 20, 25, and at least over 100 yards to win. And didn't the Cowboys have? Didn't Tennessee turn the ball over like 3 times in the first quarter?
Twice.
Yep.
As, at that point, I thought, oh well, this is going to go this is going to go bad very quick for Tennessee. But they managed to turn it around. I don't know how you do that. Both teams had bye weeks, so Dallas had plenty of time to prepare. Right now, it's just there's a bunch of turmoil in Dallas, and right now, I think the NFC East, besides maybe Philly, is just one of the worst divisions in football.
Herman, we ended with you.
Yeah, I have the Cowboys, of course, and I'm gonna just analyze the game a little bit. I'm not even gonna go off on a rant or anything, but yeah, the defense started caused some turnovers, and off those turnovers, Dallas got 7 points. The kicker misses a field goal on the first drive. Should have been a chip shot, and he missed it. Okay. The problem with Dallas is it's the offensive coordinator. I'm going to start there. All right. He doesn't know how to get all his weapons involved. You got one game where you might have Zeke go off. But when that happens, Beasley doesn't get any catches. Another game where Beasley goes off, Zeke doesn't get any runs. Where's the RPO? Okay. You got a capable quarterback to run the RPO. They're not running. Okay. So this game, we get Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's the focus. Beasley falls off again. Zeke actually had a good first half, right? But what did we do in the second half? I think he had 6 touches.
They don't give him the ball.
We weren't down by, it was a tied game. We were down by maybe a touchdown at one point. The analysts through the whole game, and the Monday Night Football analysts keep talking about we're running the same plays. We run on first down all the time. No play action, no deep shots. Yeah, Dak has some things that he needs to work on. Dak is never going to get better with a undrafted free agent who couldn't make the team as his quarterback coach. I'm going to keep going to this. Dak was good the first year, and let's look at who he had there on the team with him. He had Tony Romo and Mark Sanchez. He had 2 experienced quarterbacks, plus the quarterback's coach. I can't think of who the quarterback's coach was at the time. But the bottom line is, if your coaching sucks, it doesn't matter what players you put on the field. And another thing, too, about the defense, the reason the defense started giving up so much, they were playing almost with too much confidence because they started playing recklessly. And it was undisciplined. You could see players running out of position, trying to do other people's jobs. Do your job. That's why the Patriots work so well. You do your job. Plain and simple. Cowboys will not win another game putting that crap on the field that they put on the field Monday night. So I won't be picking them again.
And they got a very tough schedule coming up. Very tough.
They do. A very tough schedule.
Hey, another sidebar. Did you guys see the star?
When the dude ran out to the star. Yeah. And one Cowboys player came out there. Shout out to
Byron Jones came out
for getting them off the star.
His coach got mad about that. His coach let him have it about that.
The Tennessee coach?
Yeah, he got in trouble.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah.
But I got one question. Don't they have the same OC they had 2 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't understand what happened to him. But again, Tony Romo was on the team. It makes you wonder how much Tony may have been really involved.
So basically, you're saying too, with the OC, at least you had Tony Romo, who was giving him more of a coaching standpoint from being out there playing too.
My opinion.
So he had two coaches in his ear, and helping him out.
And also that first year too, you have to realize people didn't have a ton of tape on that.
That's true too. But in my opinion, the play calling is one of the major issues that the Cowboys have right now. It's major. It doesn't even look like a game plan is put in place when they step on the field.
You think that's because maybe the offense they were running was catered to Tony Romo, and now that he's gone, they've catered to that, and it's not the same offense anymore?
I think that's probably a possibility because I don't see, a little bit, at first they used to roll the pocket with Dak and stuff like that. They don't do it anymore.
And like you said, the RPO, I haven't seen an RPO since the Giants game.
Where the hell is the RPO? I don't even understand why you go away from that.
Everybody else is doing it.
There was a play. The play that real quick. I don't want to keep harping on this. The play the Titans ran when they scored, I think, their third touchdown, where they ran the RPO and then Mariota flipped it to the receiver coming in motion. When I saw that play right there, I said, you know what? That just goes to show you right there how bad our offense really is, because we should be running stuff like that, and you never see it. You never see it.
Like I say, a great week of football once again.
It was a good week of football. I really enjoyed the majority of the games before Sunday night. Monday night. I'm sorry.
So, with that said, next week's games we can talk about.
New week, new me.
New week, new me. Okay. How did you do last week, Marcus, in your prediction?
I was 4-1. The only loss was that Cowboys pick I made, which I won't be doing again.
Yeah, 3-2 here. I went 3-2. Next week games. Starting off with the Steelers and the Panthers. Herman?
This should be a good game Thursday night. I'm going with the Steelers though, just because they're at home. The Panthers are playing pretty good football, but so are the Steelers. So I said I was going to stop picking against them, so I'm going with the Steelers.
Marcus, who you at?
Well, now I'm back on the Steelers bandwagon. Even though this should be a great game, because actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with the Steelers only because I think they're real hot right now. But the Panthers are hot right now too. Cam is, I usually dog Cam out a lot, but he's looking like the MVP Cam again. I think they've won about 4 or 5 in a row.
Something like that.
Yeah.
They've been on a win streak.
This game is weird. This game is in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. That's why I went with the Steelers. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Steelers, but I predict this game should be what the Steelers Ravens game should have been. I think this is probably maybe it may not be low scoring, but it'll be a very close score, and it'll be. I'm anticipating a lot of injuries in this one. This is gonna be a hard fought one right here. I think this is gonna be some smacking in the head football right here.
Okay, Brian.
Before I make my prediction, just in that Panthers game last week, did you see that touchdown Greg Olsen caught in the end zone?
Yeah,
oh my God, that dude was sick. But I'm riding the bandwagon with the rest of the crew. I'm picking the Steelers. The Steelers are giving up 4 points in this particular matchup. Ben is number 5 right now in passing, and the Steelers offense is number 4 ranked right now. And you guys are right. The Panthers are hot. If the Panthers came in there and won this game, it wouldn't surprise me. But right now, I'm going to put my money with the Steelers. Do you really have to say, we already know you're going to pick? Let's move on.
We already know where I'm representing. So, I guess we can move on. Yeah. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys.
We do not have the Dallas Cowboys on this sheet.
Yes,
I thought we agreed not to pick this game.
It's a
primetime game. We pick all primetime games.
They playing in Philly?
Yeah, they're playing in Philly.
I'm gonna make it easy. I'm gonna say Philly. Go ahead.
I got the Eagles. That's sad, but I got the Eagles. I'm for real.
Are you serious?
Dallas can't. The Eagles are coming off a bye. They just got Golden Tate, who torches Dallas. Okay. Sproles is back this week, and Lane Johnson is back this week. It's a done deal. I got the Eagles.
Marcus.
I'm taking the Eagles. I'm gonna co-sign everything Herman said. I'm taking the Eagles.
Brian.
I choose to abstain from picking this game. The Eagles are going to win the game.
Oh, my goodness. Really?
Yeah. The Eagles have the number 2 rushing defense. The Dallas has the number 6 offense and the 29th pass offense. There are only 32 teams in the league, and the Eagles are giving up 6 points in this game.
Okay. All right. Next game we got is
the first 2 games we all went.
No lone wolf on the game so far. Next game we got San Francisco 49ers and the New York Football Giants.
That's a primetime game?
Yes,
yeah.
Monday night game.
Okay.
We wouldn't have picked them.
Who you got, Marcus?
I'm gonna take the 49ers. Why should I take the Giants? Giants are so much disarray right now. They're 1-7. I can see a reason why Nick Muns will go in there and light it up again. It's a freaking Giants. So I'm taking the 49ers.
didn't think about this, Marcus. You made a lot of sense. This division might be the worst right now in football.
What?
This division might be the worst in football right now.
You mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty bad.
I'll take 49ers. What Hugh Mullins did last week, I can see him doing it again. 3 touchdowns easily. Giants, they're pitiful.
Whoever scheduled these primetime games, they thought what's his name?
Yeah.
They thought he was going to be starting. They did not.
The Giants being good too.
Yes.
Somebody really anticipated the Giants being good. Really?
Yeah, they did. They had to have.
Brian, who you had?
I'm going with the Niners, like you guys are going with. Niners giving up 3 points in this game. Do you know that the Niners are averaging more points per game than the whole NFC East? They're averaging about 23 points per game.
Really?
The Giants.
Wow.
And I mean, the Eagles are the tops at like 22.6. The Giants are giving up 25.6 a game. So give me the Niners.
Herman?
Well, believe it or not,
Get along.
I'm going with the Giants. I don't know why.
Really?
I just got a feeling when I watched it, everybody's gonna be thinking, "Oh, Nick Mullins."
Yeah.
Nick Mullins is gonna throw 4 interceptions this week, and the Giants are gonna win this game.
Yeah, but Eli will throw 5.
I don't know why, but I'm going with Eli.
All right. Next game we got is the Los Angeles Rams against the Seattle Seahawks. They playing LA?
So,
in LA.
Go ahead, Brian. What do you got?
The Rams are giving up 9.5 in this game to the Seahawks, which I thought was a very large number. But the Rams do have the number 1 offense, number 5 passing offense, number 1 rushing offense. Seahawks have the number 3 rushing offense. I don't think that this game is going to be a 9.5 point win. I did pick the Rams. I do think the Rams will bounce back from the loss from the Saints. The Seahawks are a tough, gritty team. I mean, last week they almost came back and tied that game up. I mean, Russell Wilson threw the ball in the back of the end zone, and the receiver
He
just dropped that ball, and he just laid it afterwards. But they're a good team, but I'm gonna take the Rams.
Marcus?
Well, I'm gonna take the Rams, but like Brian said, I don't think this is gonna be any kind of blowout. This is a division game. Seattle will play them. Will play them rough, but I don't think that the Rams will fall to 2 in a row. Of course, the Rams. I think the Rams will go 14-2. They'll lose one more game this season, but it won't be to the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm going to take Rams in this particular one too. I see them bouncing back from that loss last week. Even though it's a divisional game, I think it's not going to be as high scoring as we would expect. But I think the Rams will come out victorious. Herman,
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams too, and I definitely agree with what you're saying. I'm seeing like a 3-point win, and it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't see this being a high-scoring game. Rams will definitely bounce back after all.
Last game we got in the week is the Cincinnati Bengals against the New Orleans Saints. This is in Cincinnati. After what they did to Rams last week, Saints. Herman,
I got the Saints too. They're hot right now, and they just signed Des Bryant. It's going to be interesting.
Is he gonna play Sunday?
probably will. Yeah,
I'm sure he will.
He probably will play.
Maybe I don't know the whole package, but he might get a couple.
Yeah, he'll get a couple back.
Especially some red zone, something like that. Marcus, who you got?
Oh, I'm taking the Saints. Like Herman said, they're on fire right now. I don't see the Bengals. The Bengals are not a good enough team to come in to beat the Saints, so I'm gonna take the Saints.
Man, I'm with y'all on this one too. I'm going with the Saints. Michael Thomas is number 4 in receiving. The dude has 880 yards already. Adam Thielen will probably go over 1,000 by the end of the year. By the way, by the end of the week. But the Bengals are giving up 4.5, and they're at home. That's sad. Give me the Saints.
Yeah, for some reason, Michael Thomas and Breeze are connecting. They're on some type of click right now that. I think anything he throws up to Michael Thomas is catchable for right now. So yeah, I agree with you.
It reminds me of 2007 Brady and Moss. That's how well they're connecting right now.
Kinda, yeah.
Hey, how did y'all feel about the cell phone?
That was classic. That was a classic, though.
A lot of they were like on the announcers were talking all crazy, but they didn't like catch the throwback to
I did.
The announcers didn't catch the throwback.
they didn't catch it at first.
I did. Joe
I
Horn.
did.
I saw it. Yeah, I was like, oh.
I just want to know: do you have to put 2 cell phones at the end of each end zone just to make sure, or how does that work?
You probably did.
I didn't even
Yes.
thought about
Just to make
that.
sure, yeah.
And he's not really like a show off type receiver. He
No,
really
he's not. He's very, yeah.
He did that for that game.
Yeah.
He did that just for that game, and he pulled it out. When it wasn't gonna matter, it was over at that point. You know what I
It was
mean?
all, yeah. So a couple of hot topics for the week. Since we're on the Saints, Des Bryant signed with the Saints. What's your take on that one?
I think it was a good sign for the Saints. I think that was actually the best landing spot for Dez. Dez still has a lot of talent. Dez still good. Dez put up like 800 yards last year and like 6 or 7 touchdowns. I mean, his season wasn't number one standard, but it was definitely good to be a second or third role player on this particular team. And they lost the guy that stretches the field for him. I can't remember his name, but he had been hurt. But Dez is a good possession. They could use him down in the red zone. I think he'll do well with that team.
I think the timing is kind of odd too. That they pick him. They play Cowboys probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, but I don't think that the Saints will
Yeah,
get Dez to beat the Cowboys.
Well, not necessarily beat him, but I mean, they pick him up right in time when it's close to playing him.
Yeah,
But I think
that's more like if we were an actual factor. I don't think the Saints are
But I agree. I think
not sleeping well because of the Cowboys.
I think it's a great move going into the end of the season, trying to build up that stretch, and you're trying to get some depth with the team. I think that was a great move for him.
yeah, he'll get acclimated to the team, and when the playoffs come around, I mean, he should be clicking right there. And Sean Payton's familiar with Dez. I think that the strength that they have in their quarterback, the respect that they have on that team for the way that they work together, I think Dez will come in and you probably won't see any of that on the sideline blow up type stuff. I don't think you're going to see.
Well, yeah, because Dez doesn't have to be a leader on this.
No, he doesn't. Not at all.
Yeah.
He can
He
sit
can
back
just be
and
a
be
role
kind of a role player, and he's going to respect what Sean Payton and Drew Brees do. And I think he's going to fit in nicely. This could be the piece that really propels them. Like you said, they lost their receiver, and Dez is going to be happy to be back in the league. He's going to be on a winning team, and winning cures everything.
Yeah, Dez was always a good boy when we were winning.
Yeah,
You made a good point about that too, Herman. About there's a lot of veterans on the team. You got Brees, you got Watson. You got the defensive lineman Jordan. So you got a lot of veterans on there he can look to. That he doesn't have to be the main man or the one that you expect to.
The rah guy,
Yeah,
the leader,
yeah.
to get
Sure.
everybody hyped and stuff. He didn't have to do all that. All he had to do was go out there and play.
That's true.
Just hopefully he learned how to run routes.
Last one, I
He
thought this was pretty funny. San Diego kicker.
no, he can't.
Woo. Did he even make it back on the flight back home?
Something's in the water. These kickers, man. Everybody's just missing
I'm telling y'all,
everything.
they're doing something to the balls. I honestly believe the NFL is messing with the kicking balls to make it a little more interesting. Because you see some of these balls get kicked, and like I saw a ball do some crazy stuff. I'm like, what's in that ball? Like there was no wind. The ball just curved. I think they're doing something.
Usually, you don't see these kind of misses unless you're watching college football. Like you expect this in college football. You don't expect this in the
Or
in
if
the
it
NFL.
was like a bad wind, if it was windy, it was a bad weather game, yeah. But man, I mean, these easy kicks,
Especially these kickers that have been, money for, years to come. I mean, Green Bay's kicker, he's been missed like 2 in a game.
Like one game, yeah.
The Ravens kicker, missing that thing, that they claim there's swirls or something down there at the end of that end zone and stuff, but he practices there. So that was kind of crazy, but it's like you can never count on a kick going through.
I feel like they're throwing a little bit of weights here and there.
I think you might be right. They must be doing something to these footballs.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I think they're doing something to these balls.
I think Marcus, you said it's late last week. We might be looking at the new Deflategate.
Yeah, the play game part 2.
I mean, especially since you know these are the kicking balls now. You don't have to worry about them throwing them no more. These are just kicking balls now. You know what I mean? That's all.
So they come out when it's time to be kicked.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's something's definitely odd. We haven't seen this in the NFL. As long as I've watched NFL football,
not this.
I don't remember seeing this type of inconsistency.
You may have like one
kickers,
that gets the shanks, but
all over
It's
the
like
league.
all of them.
All over the league. Like every time they line up for a field goal or extra point, you have to watch because nothing's guaranteed.
Yep, don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Hey, just a real quick note before we get on off. Did you know I was looking at some of the statistics and stuff, and 4 out of the top 5 defenses have a losing record this year.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Maybe defense doesn't win championships anymore.
Not this year. It's not.
It's going to be offenses. That's for sure. Last topic we got is the Ravens and Jim Harbaugh. The Raiders started out the season being 4-2. Started real good. Defense is playing well. Now they dropped 3 games in a row. One other thing I read about Jim Harbaugh and his coaching, ever since he won the Super Bowl, he's been 45-46.
Wow.
Since he won the Super Bowl. That team is they're in some turmoil.
You know who else has been 45-46 right with him? Who? Joe Flacco. Because right after the Super Bowl, he got paid and has never been the quarterback that deserved that money ever since. He worked for that money. I mean, he did it. He did his thing.
No, actually, he worked in the playoffs for that money. His regular season record wasn't that great.
True, you're right. You're right.
And you remember that playoff run? You remember he had to have like a miracle throw in the playoffs against Denver to continue that drive.
And then you know what really got him through that playoff run? I mean, he played all the top teams. He played New England. He played Denver. He did it. He got him there.
You know, I was thinking we were talking earlier about who was going to go and was it going to be Flacco, or Harbaugh. You know, this year is Ozzie Newsome's last year.
Yeah,
he's retiring. So I think actually they're going to all. I think Flacco and Harbaugh.
That's a strong because most time when you get a new GM, they want to bring in their own coach and all their own stuff.
That's what you're probably going to see. You're going to probably see a new GM in Baltimore with a new head coach and a new starting quarterback. Mm-hmm.
So then, do you think that maybe Jim Harbaugh, you think Cleveland picks him up then?
No.
I don't see why they wouldn't look at him.
I don't know. I think he'll have bigger options than that. I don't think he'll stay on.
Bruce Arians came out and said that Cleveland is the one job that he would come out of retirement.
I did hear that.
Why does he want to torture himself like? Well, Cleveland has a good team there. So is he known for being he's an offensive guy, right?
The problem with Arians is he don't protect the quarterback.
Yeah,
he'll let everybody go out. You got to protect yourself if you're a quarterback for Arians.
Yeah, so that's. And then he also said that he felt like Pagano should have that job too. He came out and said that he would come out of retirement for that job, but he said he also felt like Chuck Pagano should have a shot at that because they're friends.
Yeah, because he coached for Pagano when Pagano got sick.
Okay.
And
that's right. He did
with the Colts.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
They did what they did.
Yeah, that's what
strong. That's strong.
Yeah, that's what propelled him to get the job in Arizona.
But Harbaugh is
and Steelers too. He had a nice resume.
Yeah,
Harbaugh is the defensive coach or offensive coach?
He was a special teams coach.
True. So he doesn't really have.
Yeah, he doesn't really have.
That would be interesting how he would fit with Cleveland. I was thinking. I feel like you got to get an offensive coach for Cleveland.
And then the other thing too about the Flacco issue too. If y'all know, it's you remember how they kept changing offensive coordinators?
Mm-hmm.
Now you think back, maybe one of the coordinators, maybe Flacco.
That's true. Yeah, totally. I just said it. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, of course, I think Cleveland would have to look at Harbaugh if he was available.
I think there are going to be a lot of good coaches that are going to lose their job.
Yeah, probably.
Like who else besides Harbaugh and
Jason Garrett?
Yeah, shut up.
I don't know that anybody's going to take Garrett as a head coach.
I don't think so.
Not as a head coach, no. But he might be on the chopping block.
I tell you, depending on how the season ends, I tell you somebody else who should be on the chopping block.
Who?
Gruden, the Redskins. Gruden. He should be.
I think if you guys don't make the playoffs, I think his job is in jeopardy.
But you know, it's so unfair though because I can't believe I said that about a Redskins coach. They put no depth. When I was talking to my coworker today about this Redskins fan, they put no depth behind that line, and now you just lost. You lost 3
again, and this is like the second year in a row.
Yeah, second in a row.
Last year. Like, come on now, you've got to get some depth in there. Like, I think they said that they were practicing some of their defensive linemen to switch
Oh
out.
my lord!
But does that still fall on the coach? Don't it fall?
I think it falls on GM too, because in my opinion, I mean, look at what you got. You brought in Alex Smith and you paid him all this money, and look what you got.
Yeah. Nothing.
So it's some bad personnel decisions being made too. So,
and not only that, but that offensive loss could also hurt. The one bright spot they've had this season, which was Adrian Peterson.
Yes. He's been your whole offense.
Imagine if y'all didn't have him.
Pretty much.
Imagine had they not signed him or had they had somebody else.
We probably be 3-5.
Bills would be running right now.
No, they'd have got like Jamal Charles or somebody.
Yeah.
Didn't
he just have like a cup of coffee with somebody? It's already
but he announced his retirement though.
Oh, he did?
He did, yeah.
Okay. Because who was he with? He was with
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, yeah.
Yes. He was
Jacksonville.
You're right. Jacksonville. He did it.
And then
He didn't even play though. He didn't even play for Jacksonville, did
he might have played like a couple of plays, maybe.
So those are the only 3 coaches?
I mean, it's so many losing teams.
I know. It's like
Arizona's coach. They talk already about Arizona's coach.
Really?
Yeah.
His.
I don't think they give him a chance.
Yeah.
Not really, but sometimes you gotta stay the course for a little bit. That's why some of these teams stay in the gutter. They just give it up. They give up after 2 years or a year. They just scrap it, forget it. Let me go get this hot name.
But I mean, that's what I'm like. If there's like a hot, young coordinator out there, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind coaching the Cowboys.
Again, it's Jerry Jones. He's going to bring in somebody like Troy Aikman even came out. I read an article today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Troy Aikman came out and said that they need major organizational changes.
Well,
and
it has been Jerry for the majority of the year, but he's backed off a lot.
Not the year. Go back to when Jimmy Johnson left.
Well, damn,
come on, seriously.
I'm just saying though, lately he's been putting it more in the hands of his kids.
And I thought that his son was doing better, but now I'm starting to wonder about him. I still go back to the first rounder for Cooper, even though it's been explained, and I say, okay, I can see kind of why. A first rounder is still a lot. It's just still a lot.
Yeah, but would you rather him be on our squad or on the Eagles?
At this point in time, I think I want my first rounder back because I don't think that we can do anything to really utilize Cooper this year.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll sign him next year and then we'll just go from there. Did you hear about Jerry slipping up about giving
slip up?
giving
He said
Dak
it
a
on
contract?
purpose.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah.
I think he did it on purpose.
Again, Jerry, if you want to sign Dak, I don't have a problem with that because I believe that what Dak did his first year, you would not have been able to do as a scrub. But you better get a coach, an offensive coordinator around him who knows how to use his talent.
So, RG3 is scrub.
Yeah, because it went to his.
Oh, it's who a scrub?
RG3.
Yeah, he's scrub.
It went to his head.
RG3.
You know what? Y'all were doing so good. Y'all were doing so good.
And talented, and then he got messed up.
He wasn't.
He was a scrub because of his ego. He had the talent. He was a scrub because of his ego, and he refused to learn to lay down. How to slide.
You still have to do the things, no matter where you're drafted. You still have to study film. You still have to hone in on your craft.
You got to do your homework.
My thing is, I think Dak does all those things. And he's still,
but he doesn't have a good coach. Coaching can make so much of a difference. If he was not all this accuracy issues that people are talking about, the one thing I do see that Dak needs to change is that he is definitely holding the ball too long, and he is reserved on throwing the football. But did Dak have accuracy problems the first year? I don't remember anybody talking about his accuracy.
The passes weren't, and we had Dak wasn't having to go down the field that often. We had our play action. And you remember that year we were getting like 2 or 3 or 4 yards a clip on first down.
Dak, if you look at Dak's completion percentage on the deep ball, he's actually one of the top throwers on the deep ball.
Yeah, but how
He
many-
has
what's
to
the,
be.
what's the sample size? 'Cause he don't throw it.
Not this year he does.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about this? Jason Garrett out at the end of the year.
I
Cause,
think
wait, hold on. But considering what Norv Turner is doing with Cam in Carolina, you bring Norv back.
nah,
No,
we're not.
you don't bring
revisiting
Norv back.
No,
No.
I might as well keep
No.
Jason if I'm gonna bring North.
Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Honestly,
And then remember, go back to the first season. We talked about the beginning of the season. What I tell you about Norv and what he was going to do.
I don't remember.
What'd you say?
Norv was going to turn Cam Newton around. You can go back and
Yeah,
watch,
you did say that. I remember you said that. You did say that.
go back and watch the tape.
But
So why can't you do the same thing for Dak then?
I don't
because
think-
no,
well,
North Turner is
He's
an
a good offensive
tail
coordinator. He's not.
Yeah, but not a head
He can't
coach.
head coach.
And-
He can't do it. He
I-
can't head coach.
I don't necessarily have a problem if Jason Garrett stays. In all honesty, I need to see Jason Garrett build his coaching staff. I need to see Linehan gone. I don't know what happened to Linehan. I want a young, fresh-minded offensive coordinator, and Jason Garrett needs to go out and find that. And I want to see a.
But you know the problem. Some of the problems probably with Linehan is Jason makes them focus on his playbook. It's Jason's playbook.
No, Linehan took changed that playbook when he first came.
He may have added some, but the basis of our offense is Jason's philosophy.
My thing is they don't have it open up to the fullest, and they're not using that at his best.
Right, you're
That's-
not doing
that's
what
the
he
issue
does best.
That I see with
You're fitting a
They're not.
round
exactly.
peg in a square hole.
They're not using the best. Well, we seem to wrap this show up with an interesting topic.
That's what I'm talking about.
Go ahead, Marcus. You can go ahead and close this out.
Before we close out, I want to let everyone know next week we will be broadcasting on Tuesday night due to schedule conflicts, and also we're going to be covering next week and Thanksgiving week too. So we won't be broadcasting Thanksgiving week. So we're going to be covering 2 weeks. So expect a long show next week.
Yeah, should be a good one. We got a lot of games.
Lot
to
of
pick.
stuff.
A lot of stuff to pick. So saying that, I just want to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell icon so you get notified whenever we go live. I want to encourage you to share with your friends, tell your friends about the show. We're trying to build our audience up, get our views up. We hope you like the content we're giving you. Reach out, give us some feedback, leave some comments in the comment thing. Hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook. And we really appreciate those who are watching, and we value any feedback you can give us. Anything we can do to improve, we'll listen to it. So saying that, we'll see you next Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Peace. We out.
Peace.